guys, this is Mike Cornwell with Dixie Fruits. This is a Fruit University tutorial on how to take care of a grafted starter tree. In this video, we're going to go over everything that you need to know to be able to take care of one of these small trees like this. All right, let's get started. I'm standing here at this grafting station, and I've got the components that make up these newly grafted trees. If you've never seen a grafted tree before, here's the main components. You have what's called a rootstock that has the roots on it, and then you have the scion. This is the part that actually provides you the fruit that you want. And so the main thing that we're trying to do once we have a grafted tree and a newly one like this is maintaining the cambium contact. The cambium layer on these trees grows right on the outside of it. So what we're doing when we're grafting is we're combining the two edges of these together. We slide them together like so, and we form a nice uniform edge right on the edge, and this touches the cambium together. It is very critical that while this is growing, this cannot be disturbed and it must remain intact. The integrity of the graft depends on it remaining sealed. This parafilm wax is used to wrap around the graft, and it holds the moisture in while keeping everything else out. This graft has been newly wrapped with that parafilm wax. You can see that there's no cracks in it, and it has full integrity. This wrap must remain on there without any cracks or disturbances for about 3 months, which leads into about the middle of summer. Let's go take a look at one that has some problems so you know what it looks like. What you're looking at right here is a graft that is in the process of failing. You can see that this wrapping has become undone, and it's now leaving the graft union exposed to drying winds. If this tree isn't rewrapped soon with something like a plastic bag or paraffin wax, it will dry out and fail. If you see your tree looking like this, you need to take action immediately and rewrap this graft union. You can see this tree, just like the previous one, its wax is broken. But the difference is that this tree has already put on plenty of new growth. And what has ended up happening is that the tree has actually outgrown the wax. This is completely normal and to be expected with this parafilm wax. In a few months' time, once the tree starts growing, the wax will become brittle and it'll fall off. One of the primary maintenances you're going to do on a starter tree is you're going to remove the growth that isn't part of the scion. If you remember, the scion is the fruiting part and it's on top of the rootstock. So we have the rootstock down here. This is where the graft is. And then on top we have the scion, where the fruit's going to come from. So all we have to do is we need to remove all of these limbs that are part of the rootstock but not the scion. It's as simple as what they call pinching. You just pinch them off. You can see this tree now just has the bud coming out of the scion. That's what you're looking for. The first thing you're going to want to do with your starter tree once you bring it home is plant it correctly. Too many people I've talked to have asked me about putting amendments and fertilizers in the hole. Do not do this. The tree must become adapted to your soil in order to be able to grow well. If you believe that your soil has some issues, try to dig a bigger hole and loosen it up a little bit more. That way the roots can get out there and penetrate into the native soil and get adapted to it. All you need to do is you need to dig a hole of the size of the pot, place the tree in it, and if there's any extra soil that's inside the pot, just go ahead and put it on top. Once you've done that, we need to be able to mulch the tree, so let's go take a look at doing that. can see on this newly planted tree, we've got it mulched just right. This is about how much mulch you're looking to put on a tree. You could go even heavier than this. We've got about 4 to 6 inches of mulch. We have enough that it locks together and really holds the moisture down. And it's important to understand how nature actually grows, especially trees. They grow in fallen forests. They grow where there's a natural mulch on the ground and it holds moisture in tight, and as those materials break down due to that moisture, it actually feeds the tree. So rather than going out and buying expensive fertilizers that you have to do year after year, all you have to do is use a natural mulch to be able to do that. But the most important aspect to mulching is that water situation. We're very tempted to try to protect and baby these trees, but you're creating conditions that don't exist in nature, and as a result, the tree actually adapts to that. So instead of putting out its roots that go and grab water, it's depending on you to water it. You do not want to get into that situation. So the best way to get out of that is by mulching. Mulching sets the stage for this tree to do exceptionally well. And remember, you can never use too much mulch. Just ask nature. With this little oak here, one of the last things you're going to want to remember with your starter tree is just how small this thing is and just how fragile it can be at times. While it may be the absolute best way to start a tree off rather than having it adapt to a pot culture, it can be kind of hard to see. You can see right here, we actually have a tree planted. You may not be able to see it in and amongst the plants that are around it, but we've got one right here. How easy do you think it would be to accidentally bump into this? If you've got kids, if you have small dogs, they might as very well just run right over this thing if you don't do something to protect it. Probably the best thing to do is, if you have those kind of conditions, put a small fence around it. But at a minimum, stake it so you can see it, and then just stay away from those flags. Well, that's it for a grafted starter tree video. If you have any questions, leave some comments and we'll get back with you. And remember, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The second time is probably today, but even better, plant 30 of them.